All right, everybody, this is Sheets, and we're going to be doing an NHL slate preview for today. It's a day where the NBA has only a 2-game slate, and DraftKings is not stupid. They have there's an 8-game hockey slate, and they're making a really big tournament because they know that everybody's going to want to play. So I figured I may as well do an NHL preview video for the day, and I try to think of the best way to do this. And what I want to do is I want to, number one, show off our projections and show off our optimizer. And then I'm going to start with kind of like a cashy type build and see what that looks like. And then we're going to use SaberSim to build kind of a GPP type build. And I'm going to be very curious to see how they resemble each other or how they're different. They're just two different ways to build lineups depending on, on what you're trying to accomplish, I guess, whether you're trying to beat 30 people or 3,000 people or 30,000 people. So what you're looking at is the homepage of Truedfs, where I upload my my projections. And the first thing I want to do is I want to go to Optimizer. So we go to Premium Tools. We're going to NHL Optimizer. I need to log in. All right, so I'll log in. Excuse me. NHL Optimizer. Okay. So what this allows you to do is, first, you can upload your own projections to this, or you could preload the projections from my sheets. So we're going to preload the projections from my sheets here. And then what we're going to do is once this kicks in there, we have to make one adjustment, and you either want to allow the opponent goalie or not. I think that in cash, even in cash, let's exclude the opponent goalie, and let's just build kind of the top lineup from here. And it just takes a couple of minutes. We will make this faster. So this gives you kind of the optimal lineup based on my projections. Okay. So what I did was I uploaded into here kind of for now, and you'll notice a couple of things that you just have guys from all different types of teams, right? You have one Ottawa, you got one Philly, one Washington, one Dallas, one LA, one Nashville, one Tampa, and you have two Floridas, but one of them is a goalie. So you can see that this is the type of lineup that is probably okay for a cash lineup, but it's really not going to get you anywhere in a GPP because you want to be able to, you want the correlation that goes with hockey stacks. If somebody scores, it's very likely that someone else got an assist. So you want to take advantage of that, and you just can't win GPPs playing like 7 one-offs like this. So if you were going to be playing like a cash lineup, you could start with something like this, and kind of go that way. And the next thing you can do is you could use the actual sheets and upload it to SaberSim or your favorite optimizer, and and build GPP type lineup. So what we'll do is we'll go into NHL. We'll go to NHL DK sheets, and you'll see that it uploads them here, and you can see that it's all rated by Sheets value score. And you'll see a couple of the cast of characters that we talked about in the optimal kind of showing up here. But what this does, it gives you these kind of upload files that you can use to upload to your various optimizers. So if you want to use Fantasy Cruncher, this is the format. If you want to use Roto Grinders, this is the format. If you wanted to do SaberSim, this is the format. For this particular one, we're going to do SaberSim. So what you're going to want to do is you go File, Download, and then you want comma separated values. So wait, is this what we wanted? I believe this is the case. Yes, a SaberSim upload. So you have this over here. And then what you're going to want to do is go into SaberSim. And just takes a couple of seconds. NHL, DK. So then you're going to want, this is the dark mode, this is the black screen, but you could have it the regular mode. So you're going to want to hit upload CSV, and then you're going to see probably your download file, that file. So you upload it to here. You have my projections, my ownership projections. I like to put in remove players not included. And this is all good, exclude all these guys. So now you have all the customized projections uploaded. And then what you're going to want to do is decide what type of lineups you're going to want to play. So hit the plus sign. And this could be very, very daunting if you try to do this manually. So what you can do is just kind of leave the sliders the way they are. 20 max for 20 max tournaments. If you want to make 150 max, you can go up to here. If you want to do a single entry, you can go up to here. And what this does, it adjusts the correlation measures, the ownership fade measures, and the variance, basically the sim variance measures based on what type of tournament that you're in, right? Obviously, the more people you have to beat, the more you want variance, the more you want correlation, right? So but if you want to do manual, you can do this. You click manual, and then what I like to do is maybe do a little less correlation, maybe a little more ownership fade, maybe a little less variance. I don't know, maybe it's just OCD. I just like this kind of angle like this. I don't know, just to tweak it a little bit, just in case there's like a zillion people doing the same thing. They're not all doing it with my numbers, and you won't even get the same sims no matter how many times you run them in a row anyway. So you here we'll build 20 lineups, and we'll just start a new build. Okay. What we're looking for is kind of an idea of what type of, how much representation those same guys have in the GPP lineups as opposed to the cash game lineups. So obviously, what this is probably going to give you are stacks. So the fact that my cash lineups had basically 7 one-offs, you're probably at most going to get 2 guys, right, from that cash lineup, because you're probably going to have two team stacks. So if you only have representation from, if you have only representation of 1 player from each of the teams out of the 7, whatever, one team, you know what I mean, from each spot, then you're probably not going to get more than 2. So let's take a look and see what we have without making any adjustments. So without making any adjustments, here are like the lineups, but I like kind of like seeing what the character of them are. So the first thing I look at is stack types. So you'll see that of the 20 lineups, of the 20, now I say most optimal, but the best ranked lineups by Saber score is going to be, it looks about half of them would be 4 threes, maybe 30% 5 twos, then 1 6 zeros, a 4 2 and a 4. So I don't like playing the 4 zeros. So what I'll do is I'll just put this to 0. And then, so now we got 4 threes, 5 twos, 4 twos, and a 6s. And just to be really pure, I don't even want to play 4 twos. So we'll play just 4 threes, 5 twos, 6 zeros, and 5 zeros. And the next thing I want to do is then, without even seeing what they are yet, seeing what distribution they have among stacks. So what I like about this is that you're not getting 100% of a particular team. Now, if I did, I probably wouldn't change it. But I do think that hockey, you should diversify somewhat, but I don't force the diversification. That's like a very important concept. But I'm very comfortable and I feel better when this diversification just kind of happens. So you'll see Florida, you'll see Buffalo, but you don't see a lot of the guys that we talked about in our optimal in here, because GPP lineups are simply, as my son likes to say, they're just built differently. Like if you go into players, top owned guys are guys that weren't even in the optimal. Like you have to get down to the goalie before you even get to these guys. So that's a really important distinction. And that's, I think, a really important exercise we just did, is to show you how GPP lineups on today's slate are just going to look different. So you don't want to necessarily go into my projections, which are here, and just say, okay, here are the top rated guys, I'm just going to play all of them, because you're generally not getting good GPP lineups. But what SaberSim lets you do is use the projections as a baseline from which you can build, good GPP lineups. And I promise you this, if I ran the same sim with the same projections like another 100 times, you'd get totally different variations. So I'm not worried about showing you guys this, because you could run this and I get this all the time, but you know what, Eric, or Sheets, you won last night, and you got first, and I had the same projections you did, and I thought I did the same thing, and I got 30th. Well, that's the way the sim ball bounces. It's just, you don't get the same lineups every time that you run these sims, and so you're at the mercy of the variance gods, which is in a way a good place to be. I guess that's pretty much it. I can go over plays by plays, but I'll just kind of direct you to the sheets on the site for where, what data to use. And sure, you could just utilize some of the stuff that you saw when I was doing my builds to come up with your own ideas, but I don't know. It's a good slate. I'm definitely going to play 20 lineups. I'm going to play one in kind of the bigger one. And I don't know exactly what they're going to look like yet, because I am going to update the projection a little bit later. I'm going to tweak. I'm going to do exactly what you saw me do just now. So I think this is a good primer, given tonight's slate, on how to use the tools that are available to you from Truedfs and elsewhere. That will do it, and good luck.